Jenny and I would like to share with you what God has been doing and showing us in our lives over the past several months. Through a variety of different ways, the Lord has opened up our eyes and spoke to both of us and given us a vision, and we'd like to share that vision with you today. It all started when we both sat down to complete the excruciating task of looking at our budget for the year of 2015. And I don't know about you, but I believe that budgets please the Lord. It's one way that we can keep track of how we spend our money so it doesn't get away from us. So we sat down to do our budget. Of course, we had to budget for rent. Maybe some of you out there have a house payment. Had to budget for a car payment, and you got to drive. So, of course, we had the car payment to consider. Maybe some of you lease or other options. Then, of course, if you have the car, you got to have the gas to put in the car. So we budgeted for gas and fuel for the year. Food, one of our favorites, had to budget for that. And even bigger favorite, eating out and the yummy food that comes with that. So we budgeted for that. And there was entertainment. That could be TV or anything you do to entertain yourself throughout the year. And then vacation. Maybe you get a vacation or vacations throughout the year. So we budgeted all these things and found out that through this, our money started to disappear quite quickly. We were spending and spending and spending, and before we knew it, the money was just about gone.
Did you know that the average income of an Ohio resident is $45,749 per person? So for a household with two incomes, it would be twice that amount. Honestly, Josh and I make about the average of one person put together, and we're still at the early stages of our careers. But regardless, that's a lot of money to spend, and it disappears quickly, even before you know it. Around $17,148 is spent each year on housing, and this may be a house payment, a mortgage payment, or rent. For us, we pay about $6,000 per year to live in our apartment. So $17,000 average spent to live in America with a roof over our heads.
And another $9,004 is spent on transportation each year. That might be public transportation, a car payment, but an average of $9,000 is spent to get from point A to point B for the average American.
Here's a biggie. The average of $6,002 is spent by each American on food. And that includes groceries, restaurants, or the drive-thru. We spend $6,000 just to put food on the table or in a to-go bag.
Then we have entertainment. An average of $2,482 is spent on occupying our minds for hours each year. From TV to movies to the internet, amusement parks, sporting events, and everything in between, we spend $2,482 to entertain ourselves.
The women, average American, spends about $1,604 per year on clothing and apparel.
I would say that might be a little higher for us. Jenny likes her clothes, but nonetheless, $1,604.
For the average American, $1,180 is spent each year on a vacation or vacations. This again is per one person, so multiply this as many times as there are people in your family.
For us, we planned on taking a break from spending all the money on ourselves and instead spend a week at Disney World and spend a lot more money on ourselves. We researched and decided that we deserved a big vacation, a big, rare, fun, entertaining, and exciting trip, and so we were willing to spend around $4,000 on a week of vacation for ourselves. And during all of this planning for vacation and budgeting, we were attending a small group Bible study, and God began to speak to me and speak to Jenny each, and we both were secretly being convicted from what we had learned, and there were two questions that had plagued us from this small group study. First one was, why has God given us so much? There's no denying all the blessings God's given us and all the things He's done for us. So why has He given us so much? And then the second question was, why has He given others so little? We knew that every single dollar we make, every possession we own, comes from God's hand, and it's a blessing. But if that were so, why are there so many people out there who don't have these blessings and that come from God to enjoy. We know God does not play favorites, and He's not a respecter of persons, so why are the scales so overwhelmingly tipped in our favor? And Jesus addressed this inequality in a parable one time, found in the book of Luke, chapter 16, verses 19 through 25. Jesus was speaking this parable to the religious people of his time, and it says, "There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at the gate, full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died, and he was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented."
Did you know that in all the parables Jesus ever taught, there is only one to which he names a character? He named him Lazarus, which literally means God who helps, or God is my helper.
God is my helper is Lazarus, a poor man in great need, who received no help from a wealthy man who has plenty to spare. And all through the Old Testament as well as the New Testament, God helps those who are in need. God always responds to those in need with compassion, because they're helpless and cannot rescue or save themselves from where they are, but He can. And so it brings glory to His name to step in and help those in need. And I'm so glad that when I was helpless and in a place where I could not save myself, He left all the splendor and riches of heaven and all that He had to come down and rescue and save me with compassion when I was in greatest need. And He's done the same, I'm sure, for many of you.
Just as we read in Luke, God not only responds to those in need, but He also responds to those who neglect those in need. The rich man was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. He had plenty, and spent it on himself every day. He had every resource and the means to help the poor man Lazarus, but instead he chose not to. As we live sumptuously every day, there are 1 billion people who live on less than $1 per day, and another 2 billion who live on less than $2 per day. This is less than we spend on coffee or french fries, but still, we live sumptuously, without giving one thought. There are over 1,000 children who will die of starvation while we are in this building today, in our homes, at our workplace, and another 30,000 will die by sunset, all from having no food to eat. But yet we still fare sumptuously every day. If you have running water, a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food to eat, then you are among the top 15% of the world's wealthiest people. We are the rich man. We live day in and day out sumptuously, with our nice cars, fine clothes, big TVs, beautiful houses, all while ignoring the poor and those in need. God gave us these blessings and the abundance of them so that we may show them that God is their helper. But instead, they are dying without our help.
We're guilty. And whether you recognize or accept it or not, we are the rich man in the story, and we're guilty. We can easily ignore the Lazarus of the world because we cannot see them and cannot help them we cannot relate to what they're going through because we have so much and they have so little. And it's for that reason that Jenny and I have decided we would be willing to lay down our budgets, our time, our efforts for whatever He may want us to do with them. We both prayed and surrendered and told the Lord we were willing to go and follow Him wherever He leads. After both of us prayed and sought the Lord's will, we were both willing and answered with the same answer. It was pretty amazing. We both came home from work one day and we'd been praying about it, and we both said, yeah, I came up with the answer. I know where He wants us to go. And so I said, Jenny, tell me first. Tell me where God's laid it on your heart to go. And she said, I think we should go to Haiti. And I said, me too. That's the exact same answer God's given me. It was pretty amazing and thrilling to see Him work in both of our hearts and lives and answer in the same way. So for those of you who failed geography, or maybe it wasn't your strongest suit like me, Haiti is located just 700 miles off the coast of Florida in the Caribbean islands. It's connected to the Dominican Republic. And we've got a few facts for you about Haiti. First, though, here's a few pictures of the beautiful island that it is. Beautiful beaches and mountains, and it's a very, very beautiful country.
Haiti is part of the island Hispaniola, which is connected to the Dominican Republic. The capital of Haiti is Port-au-Prince, and the population of Haiti is approximately 10.32 billion people. Haiti is the most populated country in the Caribbean. The official language of Haiti is Haitian Creole and French. 80% of Haitians profess Catholic or Voodoo as their religion.
Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and sadly there are over 400,000 children without parents in Haiti. And in addition, 1 out of 5 children will die before the age of 5 in Haiti.
Haiti ranks among the worst 3 countries in the world in daily calorie intake. 40% of children under 5 suffer from stunting growth in Haiti. Unemployment in Haiti is 90%, with 80% of the population living in extreme and severe poverty.
And if that wasn't bad enough, to make things worse, some of you may remember in 2010, Haiti suffered from a devastating earthquake, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake that rocked the country. From that earthquake, 3 million people were affected directly from the quake. An estimated 160,000 to 300,000 people were killed in the quake. 250,000 homes and 30,000 other buildings were destroyed from the earthquake. The U.S. and various other countries responded immediately and helped in rescue efforts. However, long-term help and disaster relief money sent over to Haiti never really reached the Haitian people because of the corrupt government, leaving millions of Haitians to live in makeshift tents or even be homeless out on the streets. And they felt that no one cares and there was no help for them in their helpless state.
Mission of Hope Haiti, literally by God's grace, saved the country from ceasing to exist. Established nearly 2 decades ago, Mission of Hope has built a foundation that has changed the country, the government, the people, and the hearts of the people towards Christ by showing them in their helpless state that there is still hope.
We would like to show you a short little video from Mission of Hope that and what it exactly is that they do in the video.
One day Haiti will be a new country. I have hope I can do something.
we'd like to elaborate a little bit on some of the things the video hit on, but just some things that Mission of Hope Haiti does.
Mission of Hope works to provide church advancement by training leaders and by showing them the works of God so that they can take it to the other Haitian people.
Like she's just said, on top of church advancement, they like to train local pastors and leaders and teachers of Haiti so that they can reach more people and multiply the gospel.
Mission of Hope has built and provided houses for over 474 families. This continues to grow each and every day.
Mission of Hope is able to feed 91,000 children daily. That's pretty amazing amount of children that they're able to feed each day, all by God's grace.
Mission of Hope provides help to the earthquake victims, and they provide prosthesis and medical attention to those in need.
Mission of Hope also provides education for all ages, and up to 6,100 students are provided with the best education found in Haiti through Mission of Hope.
Mission of Hope provides employment to Haitians where the unemployment is over 90%.
Mission of Hope also provides medical attention throughout the country, all while sharing the gospel along the way. So we would desire to lead a missions trip for our church, for Sandhill FWB Baptist, through Mission of Hope Haiti for our church. If me and Jenny go, sure, our lives will be changed. But if 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 of us go, our lives would come back changed forever. And what effect would that have on our church or our community? To see those people who are truly in need and then be able to help them as Christ intended for us to help them. So, as we're about to show you on our prayer cards, we have 4 simple prayer requests that we ask that each of you would help us pray for.
The first, we would ask that God would provide it in the people's hearts to have 10 of them feel convicted to go with us. This is just a number that the Lord laid on our hearts, that if we could have 10 go, we could really not only change the lives of so many Haitian people, but when we come back, change the lives of our church and our community as well.
We pray that we would have safety on the trip, that through our travels and through our trip there we would find safety, and also that we would be able to make a difference to the Haitians while we're there. Of course, we want to reach them for the gospel and be able to help them see that there is hope out there. And lastly, that God would change our hearts, that we would not come back the same, but we would come back different and change, seeing those who are in need and those who have less than us, and how we're supposed to share the gospel. Let me just say that at this point, we do not feel this is a calling on our lives to go to Haiti. However, we both feel that this is something we're willing to do for the Lord so that we can get a perspective of those who are truly in need. And this is something we all really need. There have been those who have already shared our vision. Several of them have showed great interest in attending, but great obstacles are standing in their way. They have a heart to go with us and to see Haiti, but parents or money or jobs or something stands in their way of going. And we really ask that you would help us pray for those individuals, that God would move mountains for them, and that they'd be able to go. And maybe some of you do have legitimate reasons for not being able to attend. Maybe it's health or some reason such as that. We still do need your help between financial support, prayer, help in arranging things. Just there's many working mechanisms into this trip, and we just if anyone would be interested in helping us, we would be very appreciative of any help you can provide. And
lastly, we have a fun little video to show you that absolutely really touched our hearts and really was one of the things that just we feel already that we're so connected with the people, and we would encourage you to actually, if you have a Facebook page, to like Mission of Hope on Facebook, and you'll get to know these children and just be able to feel connected. And even if you can't go, you can pray for them and you'll know their name and feel that in your heart.
So here's a fun little video of some adorable kids from Mission of Hope Haiti.
So Continue.
Jenny and I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. We hope that the Lord spoke to you through it and shown you that truly we're a blessed people, but the Lord's intended for our blessings to go beyond us and to reach to all those who have less than us and who are in need. We ask that you would pray for our missions trip and for our church. Pray that God would use this missions trip to reach not only the Haitians, but to reach down and touch our lives, that we would never be the same. That His will would be done. If you haven't done it yet, we ask that you would like our Facebook page to receive any updates about our missions trip and what's going on. It's Sandhill Missions Trip 2015. So go and like our page, and like we said, continue to pray for us. And until next time, thank you and God bless.
Bye.